Noticing an unexpected amount of hair in the shower drain or on your brush carries a heavy emotional weight. The immediate fear that something is wrong with your health is a rational response to a sudden change. Most people lose between 50 and 100 hairs daily as healthy turnover, the normal growth cycle. Shedding becomes a medical concern when it breaks that usual pattern. This is visible when the parting widens, a ponytail thins, or heavy shedding persists for weeks. When this happens, it is common to reach for topical serums or specialized shampoos. We treat the hair as an isolated external surface that has simply stopped working correctly. In reality, hair follicles are deeply integrated into the body's internal logic. Each strand is physically tethered to systems that supply nutrients, oxygen, and metabolic instructions beneath the skin. A change in shedding suggests the growth cycle is responding to a shift in that internal environment. By identifying the specific markers that regulate this cycle, we can see exactly what the hair is reacting to. Iron deficiency is one of the most established medical causes for temporary, widespread hair thinning. When stored iron, measured as ferritin, reaches a critical low, the body reprioritizes its resources. This forces a large number of healthy follicles to abandon their growth phase and enter a resting phase simultaneously. This is the mechanism behind telogen effluvium. This phase can last for 3 to 6 months. If the underlying iron deficit isn't corrected, the follicles remain stuck in this cycle of shedding and regrowth. Iron fuels energy and oxygen transport. You may notice your shedding is accompanied by heavier periods, extreme tiredness, shortness of breath, or dizziness. If the body lacks the iron required to sustain a growth cycle, external cosmetic products cannot address the biological deficit at the root. The thyroid gland acts as the body's master metabolic engine, governing the speed at which your cells operate. When thyroid function is low, the metabolic pathway becomes sluggish. This cellular slowdown changes the hair itself, often making the strands feel drier, rougher, or more brittle than usual. While short-term fluctuations are rarely noticeable, a prolonged underactive thyroid results in diffuse thinning. Instead of losing hair in specific patches, you see a general loss of density across the entire scalp. This metabolic slowdown affects the whole body. Alongside hair changes, people report feeling colder than others, persistent brain fog, unexplainable fatigue, or unexpected weight gain. Unexplained changes in hair texture and volume provide a measurable look at the health of the body's internal engine. Environmental factors also drive cellular health. Sunlight exposure is the primary way our bodies produce the nutrients needed for follicle function. Inside the follicle, cells called keratinocytes rely on specific vitamin D receptors to regulate the hair's life cycle. Without enough of this nutrient, the cellular machinery within the follicle begins to stall. In regions with low sunlight like the UK, 1 in 6 adults falls below the recommended levels. This is particularly prevalent in Black and South Asian communities, where higher melanin levels reduce the skin's ability to synthesize the vitamin. Low vitamin D is often linked to other physical markers, such as muscle weakness, bone pain, or a persistent low mood. While the science of vitamin D and hair loss is still being refined, correcting a deficiency provides the baseline foundation your follicles need for repair. Hair shedding is rarely caused by a single factor. Stress, illness, and multiple nutrient levels often overlap to disrupt the growth cycle. An at-home check is a practical first step when shedding is new, widespread, and occurs without an obvious external cause. However, you must consult a clinician immediately if you experience sudden, severe loss, develop visible bald patches, have scalp pain, or if the shedding lasts longer than 6 months. Investigating these internal markers replaces passive anxiety with a clear understanding of your body's current state. The body operates as an interconnected ecosystem. By listening to these internal signals, we can move past treating the surface and start supporting the system that makes hair vitality possible.